on the webinar, just turn off your cameras. It also helps if you turn off your camera with the internet connection. So if you're not speaking, you don't have to have the camera on. If you have any questions, just save them until the end. There will be plenty of time to answer them. Or if you like, you can simply use the chat box. I have my colleague here who will be answering your questions in the chat box. So don't be afraid to ask. Okay, so once again, welcome. Let me introduce today's speakers. My name is Katerina Fajglova. I'm from the Technology Agency of the Czech Republic. Namely, I'm from the International Cooperation Department, and I will be today's moderator of this webinar. Today here with me, I have Táňa Halová-Perglová. She is the director of the Cross-Cutting and International Activities section here in Technology Agency. From Canada, we have Caitlin Peterson, who is the representative of the German-Canadian Center for Innovation and Research. Okay. As for today's agenda, you can see that our webinar will take around an hour and a half. During the webinar, we will, of course, talk about the specifics of the Czech-Canadian call for proposals. We would like to also introduce some available matchmaking tools. And then we will give the floor to you, the participants, so you can present yourselves via short presentations, and you can hopefully develop new partnerships. And as I said, at the end, we will have a part with questions and answers. So if you have any, you can ask at the end. Okay, now before we start with the formal part of our presentation, I would like to ask our section director, Mrs. Táňa Halová-Perglová, to say a few words and welcome you here.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am very happy to welcome you here on behalf of the Technology Agency of the Czech Republic. And I am also very happy that we are organizing now this webinar. When we started the cooperation with Canada about 3 years ago, nobody knew that a huge pandemic situation is going to paralyze the whole world. And I must admit that this pandemia did not help us to create new partnerships, actually, and to enhance cooperation with our Canadian partners. That's why we are organizing now this webinar, because we know that it is difficult to travel, it is difficult to meet new people, but hence we trust new technologies, and we believe that this webinar is a start to for our researchers to see each other, to hear project ideas, and to be able to get in contact. Even if they will not be able to meet personally, but maybe to do joint project proposals online. I hope that this webinar is going to enhance our cooperation, to create new partnerships. It will give you details about the call that we are planning to publish in May this year. And I also hope very much that it will bring many, many project proposals, and that we will be able to finance many of them. And we will really start a very good cooperation with Canada and with our Canadian research partners. So enjoy this webinar. And if ever this webinar does not give you answers to all your questions, please do not hesitate to contact us anytime before you submit the project proposals. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Táňa, for the kind words. And well, let's start with the formal part of the presentation. So at first, let us explain the specifics of the third Canadian-Czech joint call for proposals. Let's look at all the specifics and all the rules that you need to know if you want to apply with your project. I would like to ask Caitlin to start with the presentation. Oh, we can't hear you, Caitlin.
Is that better?
Yes, perfect.
Oh, victory. All right, well, thank you very much. And so I'll start with explaining the areas of research that are eligible under this call. So generally speaking, project proposals in all areas of application are mutually accepted. So basically any sector. On the side of the Czech Republic, all projects must be in compliance with the national priorities of oriented research, experimental development, and innovation. And on the Czech side, projects around defense and medical research are not eligible. On the Canadian side, we have similar regulations around defense in that all of our projects need to be for civilian application, but beyond that, any application is eligible. Okay, so for this call, as was mentioned earlier, the call will launch in May, on the 12th of May. And this schedule applies to both sides. So it will apply to Czech participants as well as Canadian participants. You're welcome to submit your applications anytime between May 13th and July 14th. From the middle of July until the end of November will be sort of the project evaluation period, where we'll send the applications to reviewers and see which projects are eligible. We'll announce the results jointly on November 30th, and then projects will be required to start at some point between January and March of 2022. Project length can be anywhere from 12 months to 36 months on the Czech side. On the Canadian side, 12 to 24 months. And then in terms of eligible applicants, it's quite similar in that both sides require that the project include a member of industry. So a small or medium-sized company, an enterprise, and then on the Czech side, research organizations, universities, and other enterprises are also eligible and can receive funding. On the GCCIR side, the Canadian side, we are only able to fund small and medium-sized companies. However, research organizations, universities, and other enterprises are more than welcome to participate and or to bring their own funding to the program. So we'll focus first and foremost on finding those members of industry, but then other entities are more than welcome to participate.
Okay, thank you, Caitlin. And now let's have a look at the funding scheme. First, let me explain the Czech side. So as for the Czech side, the maximum funding intensity per project is 74% of total eligible costs. That means that the project consortium must provide at least 26% of the project budget. Then the actual funding intensity depends on the Czech state aid rules, and I will explain those later in the next slide. But just note that each side, the Czech and Canadian side, will fund the respective nationals in the selected consortia. And it's not possible to transfer funds between the countries. And now I would like to ask Caitlin to explain the Canadian side also.
Okay. So on the Canadian side, GCCIR basically funds 50% of the project. So whatever the Albertan company applies for from GCCIR, they're required to match in a combination of cash and in-kind contribution. So the maximum funding amount that a company can request from GCCIR is $250,000. So in that case, then the company would also be responsible for contributing $250,000 in that combination of cash and in kind. And I'm happy to get into the how we break that down. If anyone is wondering, please just shoot me an email or let me know.
Okay, and let's once again look into details of the check funding. So as you can see, the total allocation to all the project proposals on the Czech side is 300 million crowns. That's around $13.4 million. And the maximum amount of funding per project is not specified. As I said before, the maximum possible funding intensity per project is 74%. However, the maximum funding intensity per applicant is determined according to the state aid regulation. If you want to know more details about the funding intensity per each applicant, you can have a look at the table, which is displayed on the slide. As you can see, the intensity depends on the type of the applicant and on the planned activities. I will not go into more details, but if you want to know more, of course, you can ask at the end of the presentation, or just as Caitlin said, you can just send me an email and we can go through it together.
On the Canadian side, as I mentioned, the maximum amount of funding available per project is $250,000, and that needs to be matched by the company. I'll point out, though, that companies do not have to request the maximum. If you require $150,000 for your project, you're more than welcome to apply for that amount, and then that is what you would be required to match. So no obligations to ask for the maximum. Projects are not prioritized based on the size of the ask. And as was discussed, we cover 50% of the costs. So I guess you don't have to email me because it's explained here on the slide. So grant recipients need to match GCCIR funding in that combination of cash and in-kind contribution. So 40% is the minimum of the grant recipient's contribution that needs to be in cash. So for example, if you were to apply for $250,000, you would be required to contribute $250,000. 40% of that is $100,000, so that would be your cash contribution. And as I mentioned earlier, eligible applicants are small and medium-sized enterprises, which we define as somewhere between 1 and 499 employees and less than $50 million in gross annual revenue.
Okay, thank you. So now you know who are the applicants, you know how the financing works. So let's have a look at how to submit your project proposal. I will once again speak for the Czech side. So the Czech part of the consortium applies in the Czech Republic, and all the applications must be submitted via our electronic system. It's called ISTA. The applications are submitted in Czech languages, Czech language only. There are some compulsory annexes which need to be submitted together with the electronic applications. And these are namely the sworn statement of the applicant, then the common proposal, which is like a short version of the application in English. And then there are other annexes connected to specific project results. The whole submission process and of course, all the annexes will be described in the call documentation, which will be available on the day of the call announcement. So you can, of course, read more details about all the annexes in the documentation. And of course, as we said before, the deadline is on the 14th of July this year. Okay, Caitlin?
Yeah. And on the Albertan side, the application form can be submitted by email to us at GCCIR. The application form, as well as application guidelines, are available on our website. If you have any trouble finding them, please just email me and I'll be happy to send you the templates. In addition to the actual application form, we do require at the time of submission that a draft cooperation agreement is in place between partners that outlines how the partners plan to cooperate, how they plan to deal with IP, that kind of thing. At the time of application, it does not have to be final, it does not have to be signed, but should the project application be successful, we would need that cooperation agreement to be signed and finalized before funding can begin.
And just to add, of course, the applications must be approved by both sides, Canadian and Czech, to receive funding. That's very important. Okay, and now let's give you some options how to search for partners if you don't have any yet. So let me introduce our partnering tool. Partnering tool is an online tool on our Touchers website, and companies, research organizations, or other interested parties from both countries can use for the matchmaking purposes. So even Czech and even Canadian participants can both use this tool. Anybody looking for a partner for their project can post a brief request or offer, depending on whether they are interested in searching for a specific partner for their already existing project idea, or they just wish to offer their services to a project team in specific areas of research. After clicking on these buttons, you can see at the bottom of the slide, you will be asked to fill out a Google form, very simple form with just the crucial information about your organization. After that, your offer or request will appear on the official website, and other participants, other companies can contact you. In the same way, you can also search through other existing requests and offers. You can see it again once on the slide, how it looks like. You can search through different categories and so on. Of course, maybe we did not mention this at the beginning, but all the participants into this webinar will receive this presentation. So, of course, you will also find a link to the partnering tool in the presentation. So don't worry if you don't want to search for it, you will have it in the presentation itself. And I would like to once again ask Caitlin to tell us something about EEN.
Okay, so we also have the Enterprise Europe Network Partnership Opportunities Database as an option for looking for partners. You're able in the database to post quite a variety of different partnership requests or partnership offers. In the case of this call, we would recommend an R&D request, which allows companies to find partners for specific calls for proposals. So because we're aiming towards this particular call, we'd be looking at R&D requests. Any company that is interested in posting an R&D request within this database is welcome to get in touch with us. The database is publicly searchable, so anybody can go in and have a look through and see what the projects and the profiles look like. But if you want to post a profile, then you need to do that through an Enterprise Europe Network member, so GCCIR would be happy to help you with that. So I would encourage everyone to have a look, and I'm happy to send the link as well. And if that's something that you think would be helpful, then you're more than welcome to get in touch with us and we'll help you put a profile together.
Thank you, Caitlin. That's all from us, from the formal part of the presentations. Here are our contacts. As I said, you will get the presentation, so you can contact us. We have our emails, websites, everything is listed here. So don't hesitate to contact us anytime and we can help you with any questions you might have. Okay, and now let's move on to our pitch presentations, and let's give our floor to you, the participants, so you can present yourselves and you can search for new partners this way. This is the list of companies that were present today, but if there's someone else who's interested to present and they haven't sent the presentation, we will give them some space at the end. You will have 2 minutes to present yourself. And yeah, that's it. I will show the presentation so you don't have to share anything and you just need your microphone to speak. So do we have someone from the first organization here to start the presentation?
Herme Labs, Leonard Wiebe speaking.
Perfect. Let's start.
Okay, well, first of all, I have to apologize because I heard you say early on that this is a presentation that does not apply to, or a program that does not apply to medical applications. So we may be in the wrong place, but I will continue anyway. Simply to say that Herme Labs is a new company in Alberta, sees itself as an innovation generator. It has projects of its own, but it also has capacity to work with people in related fields if there are particular projects. We do, our keyword list is molecular modeling, artificial intelligence, and so on. You can read them on the introductory slide. A lot of it related to drug development and therefore may not be applicable. But if you have any questions, you should contact Dr. John Yao at the email address or the telephone given on the first slide. So if we can go to the second slide. This is a very busy slide, but it gives you an idea about some of the things that Herme is working on. And there are a few things here which are not necessarily medical. Formulation, we're interested in formulation, of course, formulation of drugs for administration, but we're also working in the area of cosmetics, cosmetic applications, and I'm not sure that qualifies in medical or not, but certainly there are applications there. We also have a large interest in diagnostics. We've done a lot of work on diagnostics using fluorescent and radio-labeled and magnetic resonance markers. And we've developed agents, as you can see in this little picture of a mouse, agents which will control pigmentation that really relates back to our formulation, but also relates to cancer theranostics as well. And in the limited time available, I'll just point to one other area on this slide, and that is the natural product application. We're talking about vitamin E primarily on this slide, and vitamin E is a natural product, and it comes from the industrial source of vitamin E's. There are 8 molecules actually that are classified as natural vitamin E's. They come from agricultural products. Palm oil, we don't have many palm trees in Canada, nor in the Czech Republic, I'm sure. But we do grow a lot of canola. There are soybeans and other things that that give rise to value-added products. And this is of particular interest to Europeans because canola oil, which is produced in Western Canada in large quantities, I believe is now admitted to the European Union not as a foodstuff, not as a nutraceutical, because it's GME, but in fact as a fuel. Biodiesel is the main product, and biodiesel is a natural, one of the major, not natural sources, but it is a major industrial source of a number of sort of aftermarket, if you want, for the diesel fuel aftermarket products that have extra cash value. So that might be another area that could be of interest for the Czech-Canada collaboration. I must be close to 2 minutes, so I'll stop there.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to add that by the medical research, we mainly mean projects with clinical studies and trials. So there are some projects which might be possible, these cannot include clinical studies and trials, because these are supported by different organizations in our country. So maybe, yeah.
I was going to say, in that case, I really should point to that that pink rose-colored box, drug discovery, particularly using Protax. We have some substantial expertise in computer-based drug design and assessment, in particular for a particular kind of drug called Protax.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. As I said, the presentation will be shared, so if anybody is interested, they can contact you via the contacts you've put into the presentation.
Thank you.
Okay. And someone is asking if it's possible to present and twist next. Do we have the presentation from the representative of the organization?
John, this is you. Did you want to say something?
No, yeah, that's good. So if anybody are interested, please contact us. Yeah, we'll be very happy to discuss any possible collaboration with you guys. Yeah.
Katarina, you should have N-Twist's presentation in your presentation. I think that's the third one. You might have to skip one.
Okay, perfect. Okay, then go on.
Thank you, Katarina. Hey, good morning all, good evening. So we are an artificial intelligence company located in Edmonton. We are an industrial, we apply our artificial intelligence to solve Industry 4.0 problems, especially in oil and gas, mining, metals, and petrochemicals. Our interest in participating in this call is especially partnering in reinforcement learning or a computer vision related projects to solve Industry 4.0 or industrial applications or industrial problems. In particular, in reinforcement learning, we are looking for partners, either research organizations or people with expertise, either multi-agent learning or guaranteed convergence in multi-agents. These are the specific research areas. In addition to that, if anybody from a Czech side who are interested in working with us in industrial applications like steel rolling mills to reduce the energy or improve the quality of their product, we are more than happy to partner with them. In the next slide, please. This is kind of give you an overview of what we do. And we help control room operators to reduce variability in their feed or quality of the product by either creating a digital twin or extracting the data what they have. And as an end result, you will get a better control and also greenhouse gas reductions. So if you have any applications which you wanted to validate with your industrial clients, we are more than happy to partner with you, either research capacity or application perspective, or validating the technology. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. And now let's go back in our list and let's do Stratosys. Do we have someone from the organization here?
Yes, this is Martin from Stratasys. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Our company is developing HAPS, high altitude pseudo satellite, as it's an airship flying at an altitude around 20 kilometers and can provide various services, for example, in the area of Earth observation, navigation, telecommunication, natural disasters, and other. So the main research areas we are focusing at, like in field of aerospace and airships development, stratospheric flight. We are system integrator, so we do not manufacture any of the subsystems we are using. We are developing them together with our partners, but we are just integrating the systems at the end, and we are subcontracting all the systems, both hardware and software. Therefore, we are mainly interested in cooperation with companies developing those subsystems, currently mainly for the software part, like flight navigation and operation systems, and also for any payloads that may be related to our services, like images, communication links, 5G LTE providing systems, flight navigation systems, etc. If you can go perhaps to the next slide, please, Katerina. So this is just a picture. It's not the exact technical picture, like we want to still cover it based on APR and other reasons, confidential. But this is how the platform generally looks like. It's lighted in air. It can station keep in the stratosphere up to 6 months and carry payload up to 10 kilograms, providing power of 5 kilowatts. We can station keep in winds between 10 to 15 meters per second. If they are slower, we can of course fly to a different location thanks to our propellers. Otherwise, if it's faster, we have the options to use the wind currents to circle. The main advantages of the platform is that it's completely complementary to satellites. It can either replace them because it's much cheaper and you don't have to kind of launch a rocket. Or you can just resend the same data as the satellite from lower altitudes, so the data is in higher quality. We operate in altitudes above air traffic and above air, so that's positive. The platform is highly autonomous. The payload is can be quickly accommodated, and really you can put almost anything in the cargo bay as long as it is around 10 kilograms or less heavy. There are 0 CO2 emissions during the operations. The platform is helium-based. In the future can be hydrogen-based, but we have no emissions whatsoever during the operations, and the platform can be completely reusable. So that's all for me, and thanks a lot for this opportunity to present my company.
Thank you very much for the presentation, and we will move on to the next one, which is on topical.
Yes, hello. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on where everyone is. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
To make sure that sound was on good. My name is Christian Fulton. I'm co-founder of Untopical. The other founder, Derek Koenig, we're sort of dividing and conquering, who couldn't be here today, but we're a Canadian-based startup with a small team, but distributed evenly between Edmonton and Calgary. We were founded in late 2017. However, last summer, we attended a California-based, California-based Skydeck Accelerator as one of only 3 Canadian companies to ever get asked to participate in that program. And it was there that we made the fortunate, maybe fateful decision to pivot into this Untopical, choosing to focus on the private sector rather than government-facing, and give companies access to municipal meeting documents that come in the form of their minutes, their agendas, and their videos. We also include the video transcriptions. So what we do is we bring structure to these documents and thereby allow comprehensive searching, the setting of notifications so that companies can learn about and stay on top of or in front of upcoming business opportunities. We are currently exploring several avenues of R&D. You can see here we've highlighted machine learning and natural language processing with I think a particular focus on several areas. That would be topic modeling or analysis, NER, named entity recognition, document summarization, keyword recommenders or recommender systems, and speech-to-text transcriptions. We do currently employ both ML, NLP, and deep learning models in a number of areas on the Untopical platform, but we're looking for partnerships to help us expand our current applications and implement new ones. So I'm really eager to dive into and try out the TACR partnering tool and look at this EEN, or Enterprise Europe Network. So thank you for sharing that. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is just a very rough sort of diagrammatic representation of what our site looks like currently. I don't know how helpful this is at the top left. However, what we've got is search. So you can search all of these long text and video documents put out by government municipalities. You can then set alerts, which is the second image, an example of sort of subscribe to and get notified of opportunities and get in front of them. And then what we are building out, so the big ask here is this third piece, and these are insights. So we want to be able to provide contact lists, for example, in some cases where transcriptions of the videos aren't offered. We would like to do that ourselves and offer transcriptions, so long text documents. So we're looking for NLP help to in various aspects of these textual documents. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the presentation. And let's move to the next presentation.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay, thank you. So, hello, we are Elixum company. We provide SaaS cloud platform called ELIS, it's E-L-I-S, especially for increase of production flexibility, effectivity of the companies by process digitalization, automation, and we use some parts of machine learning and artificial intelligence for this. We focus mainly on the industry companies, construction and timber processing companies, and we provide data hub, production planning tool, a reporting tool for the management and decision making, IoT hub, and we are cooperating with the Czech universities so far. One of these is University Center for Energy Efficient Buildings in Prague, and second one is the University in Zlín and Faculty of IT. With them we are working on the AI parts. With our system, we can help to increase the speed and rate of innovation in the companies. We can lower the costs in distributed cloud environment when we compare it with the on-premise scenarios. We can dynamically use the resources, and of course, this system is environmentally more friendly than the on-premise scenarios. We have the use cases, for example, on the sawmill, which is producing 100,000 logs per year, and using our system we help to remove the bottleneck, and then we prepare the company to increase the production volume. We also use our system on the construction companies, and within this company we are connecting 5 different systems, and we also help to increase the production capacities, and we help the management of the companies to see the data that is crucial for the decision making and for the management of the company. If we can go to next slide, please. Then on the left side you can see how the portal for the specific customer look like. We can also customize the portal for different customers. And on the right side, this is the IoT for the anomaly detection that we used on a bridge, and which is also the part of the system. So we are looking for the partners in the industry, construction, and timber processing industries. And that's all from my side, and thank you for the opportunity to present our company.
Thank you very much, Ondřej. And let's go for the next presentation. Now we have Brain Toy.
Oh, that's me. Thank you very much. Hi, my name is Amit Verma. I'm the Chief Executive and co-founder of Brain Toy. We are a young Canadian SME company, and we were founded in 2017 with a dream. Everyone talks about machine learning, AI. It's so useful, but why is it so difficult? Why is it so expensive? So our offering is a production machine learning platform to model at scale. And we've got clients in Canada, South America, US, but our recent foray has been in Germany, where we tied up with Fraunhofer for advanced manufacturing. Our primary industries of interest are infrastructure, supply chain, energy, manufacturing, any process industry. And today, what I'm looking for in this group is partners who are one of these three categories. One are educational institutions that want to offer advanced machine learning training to their students. We are currently offering these courses along with Canadian universities as a 3-month applied machine learning course. Second is research institutions that use AI ML in any of their proposals. Now, because BrainToy has a production machine learning platform, any solution in any domain, in any industry can be built in like a month, 2 months, 3 months to production. So machine learning becomes easy and fast. And that's our second interest. Our third interest are enterprises that use AI and ML in their operations. And you know what? On Topic is a great client from Canada. Elixium is another example of people to use machine learning in their business. And I'm very happy to be here. So if anyone's interested, please connect to me. I'm very happy to help you with a fast and quick proposal. You don't need to go to the next slide because that was a video. We don't have time. Please move on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the presentation. And let's move on to our next company.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon to everywhere in the world. My name is Daniel Zachoval from company ERC Tech. And we are bringing technology how to use construction and demolition waste, because mostly all around the world are millions of tons of this construction and demolition waste, where mostly the advanced economies knows how to use 10-20% of this waste. The rest is still storing in landfills and everywhere. And we are bringing a technology how to use this concrete and demolition waste back to the process of the construction. Like you can see, it is supporting the circle economy cycle, which in the past and right now is still linear, that when you make a demolition, it is going to landfill and somewhere. Now we are changing this technology to circular economy, that when you will build something, then you can destroy and again build in a usage 100% of this in the past, how we call it waste. We are changing waste back to the aggregates, which is saving the nature aggregates, replacing with this already used. This is the main point of our patented technology. And we are looking for a partner in Canada who would like to develop this technology for the Canadian market and bring this technology there. When we look on the next slide, there are sum up the key points of our technology. That we are using 100% of recycled aggregates, which until we know nobody was able to do it until now. It means that we are able to change this concrete demolition base back to use for transport beton. You can create small precastings up to the big precast wall parts from which you can, like you can see on the picture, build again new houses. So this is in a very shortcut that our technology which we would like to bring to Canadian market. So if somebody is interesting, feel free to contact us and we will be in touch in the next cooperation. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for the presentation. And now let's move on to the next one. Give me a second. It was just sent to me now, so I just have to switch to another presentation. Okay.
Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Great. So thank you very much for the opportunity of presenting the company today, Primcell Bioscience. I'm sorry for the delay with my presentation. I'm having holidays, and that's why I missed my the email announcing this. Let me just briefly go through the presentation of the company. We are one of the biggest biotechnological companies in Czech Republic, Primcell Bioscience. And we are focused on the discovery and clinical testing of biological drugs, medicinal products. The company has several interests which are focused primarily on the cell-based therapy and also the gene therapy. We are also covering in our R&D department the research areas of biomaterials, of the medical devices, working with the gene manipulations, either chemical or virus vectors, protein-based research, and also cell manipulations. For the cooperation, we are specifically interested in the ready IP or ready know-how to be transferred for the future application to the patients. I know that the call is not about the clinical trials, but we are focused primarily on the pre-clinical stage, which is pretty much below the cutoff. So the specific area is development and transfer know-how that we are specialized in. We are also specialized in translation toward the product. On the regulatory affairs support, we have also quite significant investment to the IPR and by the shareholders of the company, and also a separate part is a clinical research. Please show me the next slide. So the company is located in the east of the Czech Republic, in the border with the Poland. On the right below a corner, you can see the headquarters of the company in Ostrava. It's the third biggest city in Czech Republic. And this building holds the GMP manufacturing facility, in-house R&D, in-house regulatory affairs department. We have a small group of the CRO, which are working with the hospitals and the doctors. And also we have our own separate sister company in-house cell and tissue bank. So I'm managing the team of the R&D and the regulatory affairs officers. And in case we'll be able to match during this meeting or this symposium, we'll be very happy to find a partner that is interested to collaborate in this area. And I think that we can have quite significant additional value in this kind of partnership. So we are not specifically, we are basically a private company. We are not working as an institutional sector, but we have also quite broad collaboration and network with the universities and academia as it is. So in the first slide, you can see the context to me, and in case you are interested in the matchmaking, so please feel free to write and send me an email. Email on the first slide. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Okay, now I would like to ask, is there someone else who would like to present and maybe haven't managed to send their presentation, but they would still like to? Electronics. I haven't received your presentation, Rahul. So if you want, you can present it from your side. Is it okay? Or just send it to me quickly by email and I can share.
I can just share my screen. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, just find everything here. Hold on. All right. Great. So you should be able to see my screen. Can you confirm?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we can see
perfect.
it.
Great. So my name is Rahul Samant. I'm the CEO of Reaptronics. We've actually done a few projects through GCCIR. It's been the experience has always been great, and our projects have really spanned the entire life cycle of commercialization, everything from really early stage discovery research and trying to understand neural signals, right to we just filed a development of a device that we just filed the 510K FDA for. So full spectrum of activities in that life cycle, and they've been a great funding partner. We're a neuroscience-based medical device company, and our products restore function in people with paralysis. Over 500 clinics around the world are using our products right now on our rehab platform. And our research areas are focused on that neural rehabilitation, digital health, and telehealth. And you can see our lead product here on the right, the Rejoice. It's a joystick-like device, and patients use it to play a variety of games, and it can track the patient and assess assess their function. And then the other, you can see the garment she's wearing on her wrist. That's a neural interface or a neural prosthetic, and it interacts with the muscles of her forearm. It stimulates those muscles to open and close her hand, to control her hand and restore that grasping function. So she uses that to manipulate the Rejoice and play a variety of games. And so we're interested in finding collaborations with people that want to help us design new products and services that we can launch on that rehab platform. And so a little bit more about that platform. So you see here, so essentially, again, it can be deployed in the patient's home, so it can be clamped to their table, a computer setup, and it allows remote tracking of the patients. It has an automated assessment tool where the patient can just do an assessment of their function, and then the therapist can see that remotely. And we've shown in clinical trials that, in fact, our platform provides three times better patient outcomes than the standard of care, which would have them coming into the clinic. So we can deploy this in their homes, and they get better faster. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And is there someone else who would like to present? Please, Rahul, can you stop sharing your screen? Okay, so if there's nobody else to present, I will once again repeat that you will all get the presentation after the webinar, so you can contact anyone who's been interesting to you. And I would like to ask you if you have any questions. We are at the end of our webinar, so if you have any questions, you can ask now, or of course, you can always ask later. You will have our contacts. So if you would like to ask now, go for it.
Perhaps if I may drop in, this is Martin from Stratosys. Just a question to the Kevin proposals. Will they be the same as in the previous tenders, or are there some changes happening to them?
Well, they will be more or less the same, just they're updated for this call, like the years of the funding and so on, but the content is the same.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
I have one question. For the Canadian side, what is the proportion of the cash versus in-kind contribution to a project?
Okay, so the minimum cash contribution is 40%. So for example, if you were to apply for the maximum of 250,000, then for the company, the company's contribution, the division would be 100,000 in cash, and the rest can be in kind.
Got it.
Okay, do we have any other questions? Well, if not, then thank you very much for your participation. It was very, very interesting to see all your companies and institutions, and I hope you will get new possibilities to find your new partners after this webinar. And well, that's all from us. I would like to ask my colleagues to also say their goodbyes, but that's basically it. And thank you very much for your participation.
Yeah, thank you everyone from the Canadian side as well. It was great to see all the pitches, and as Katerina said, if there's anything we can help with or any additional information we can provide, please just let us know. Drop us an email or give us a call. We're always happy to chat.
Yeah. Thank you both. Thanks, Caitlin. Thank you, Katerina.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.